Minglava, in this video, we are going to learn how to import data from different data sources. Minglava, in this video, we are going to learn how to import data from different data sources. Minglava, we will start with the flat files. What is a flat file? Flat files keep the data in the two-dimensional array. You can see the example test file here, right? I have the record of 4 persons where I keep the records of name, age, and gender. Right. So each column represents the dimension here. Okay, name, age, and gender, and each row represent a record for a person. Right. Example of common flat files are Excel file. Many of us have used before. All right. And then these values inside the your flat file, the data, the values can be separated either by a comma or depth. Those are separated by the comma, we call it as a comma separated value CSV file, .csv. These are the files you will be encountering a lot in data science. All right. Now let's start with .txt file, which I show here. Okay. How do we read that .txt files? Right. We can use the Python built-in function open, and then we can also use a Panda libraries. I will start with reading using the built-in function, right? So when you read a test file, .txt file, okay, we have to first open the file, all right? So when we open the file, we can use a method called open. Then we will read the content of the file. When we are reading the content of file, there are 3 ways of reading. The first one is a read, which we read the whole content of the file. All right. Second one is a read line, and that read line reads individual line per line. All right. Then the last one is read lines. Read lines, read all the file, and then put it in the list. Okay. Okay, we will start with reading the TXT file, right? Before that, let me upload the data file into the Google Drive. Okay, if you click on this file browsers, all right, you can upload the file from your computer. Okay, so let's click on the upload file, all right. Then we will start with this flat file. So let me upload this file. So it's give you a reminder, upload file will be deleted when your runtime is finished, right? So it's okay. Okay, let's start with this file. This file is already inside. We will start reading. All right. So for reading file, you can use the open Python built function called open, and then your file name. Flat file. dot txt. We want to read, so I will define mode as R. This one. All right. So we are going to run this cell. Now file is open, right? We can see by clicking on file.name. If you get the information about file.name. Next, we are going to read the content of the file. Let me read data equal to, we are going to read it, all right? So just now I mentioned there are 3 ways of reading. The first is file.read. Let's run this cell and then see what are the content inside. Okay, so all the files are read here, right? All the data are being read, all the contents are being read. Okay, and then for each line, all right, after one line is backslash n indicate that you have completed one line, right? Backslash n indicate the next line. Okay, all right. Now let's close this file. After I have read it, I have to close this file by clicking on file close. So in summary, when you read a file using open, there are 3 steps. First is you open the file by clicking open, all right? Mode equal to R. And you read the data. It's in the, okay. Then you have to close back. All right, these are the three steps you have to do when you read the open file. Always an error. All right, we have an error. So there's a mistake in my file. Okay, I put as a, instead of x small x, I put as a capital. So there's a mistake. Let's redo it. All right, put a small x. Okay, good. It is ready now, right? There's no error. Okay, I still have the data inside. I can run it and see. Okay, the data are here. All right. Now, let me teach you a better way of reading a file. The better way of reading a file is using with open. All right. When I say this method is better, I will explain you. If you use a with statement, the format is you will start with the key with, right? Keyword with, and then you will open the file, and then as this is a variable name, you will define as keyword and then variable name. All right. And then you will read the data in file dot read. Do you notice something? We don't need to close it again. All right. So it's a better practice to use a with statement. Now let me teach you how to read line by line. All right. Instead of read, let's go and read line by line. If you use a read line, it will read only the first line. Let's look at the data. This is the result you will see. Only one line is being read. All right. Now let me teach you how to read all the lines and put that into the list. Let's do. Okay. In this example, you can see that we have read all the lines. All right. 5 lines are there, and then read as a test file. Sorry, read as a list. Right. So all the content are keep it in the list. This is how you read. Okay, so in summary, the best way to read or open a file is using the with statement. With, open, file name, and your mode. All right. Then there are 3 ways of reading the content. Read, where it reads all the contents. Read line, it read only line by line. All right. And then read lines, where it read all the lines but keep it in the list file. All right. Okay. Next, let's move on to importing data using pandas. Panda has many useful methods to read different file types. All right. Okay. Some of the common methods that you are going to use are following here. Read CSV. Right. As name mentioned, you are going to read the comma separated value files. It is very easy to use this method. Later we will do the exercise together. All right. Read Excel to read the Excel files. Read HTML to read HTML file, as well as like JSON for read JSON for reading the JSON file. Now let's start with our exercise using the read CSV. Okay, to import the data using the Panda library, we first have to import the pandas first, right? Pandas as PT. I will import this Panda library as PT, all right? Okay. Now let's start reading. This time we don't need to open, we just need to read directly. Okay, I will call it as a data and PT read CSV. All right. Then my file is given as dsEX flat file.txt. All right. Let's see what will happen. So we just read it. All right. So nicely done. Okay. There's a beauty of pandas. It gives you a table. All right. So it's much easier to see. Okay. You can see it as a table also. All right. So you have the name, age, and gender, and each is separated. Each value is separated. All right. And then put it in the table format. Okay. Isn't it easy? Yes, very easy, right? Next, we are going to read the Excel files, right? Here, I want to teach you 2 things. Okay, look at on this Excel file, we have two sheets, data 1 and data 2, right? Firstly, we will read the data from the data 1 and then we will read the data from data 2. Okay, sheet data 2, all right? In the first sheet, we have the HR data. We show the HR ID, then you are Mr. Mrs. and then name, all right? Then this is a middle name and then last name and gender. So these are the information given. But if you notice, the header is busy. All right, we don't know the ID of the name of that column, each column. All right, so we have to see how we can do it in Excel. Next, in the data two, you can see that some of the lines are written as a header, right? So this gives the information about the file, these two lines. These are not our data. The data that we want is only in static flow, row number 3. All right. So in this example, we will also see how we can read static flow line number 3 instead of static flow line number 1. Right. So now let's see what we can do. In this exercise, we will import the data from the Excel file, right? So instead of read CSV, we will use read Excel and then HR Excel sample, right? .xls. So if I read using this one, if you remember, we have two sheets, right? Just now. So if you just give the file path, file name, it will automatically from the first sheet. All right. So we can define the sheet name, which sheet you want to read. But here in this example, I just want to read the data from first sheet, so I will keep it like that. All right. But in our first sheet, if you remember, there's no header, right? So we have to define header to be none, okay, so that we have the data, right? So if you run the cell, you can see the result here. Okay, you can see the result here. All right. So if I don't put header to be none, okay, this is the result you will get. The first record will be considered as header. All right. So please be careful. If your file don't have the header, remember to put this header equal to none keyword. All right, header and assign it into none. Okay, good. All right. Now what I want to do is I want to read the donor data from the second sheet. All right, instead of first sheet. So I will still do the same thing. All right. This time, I'm going to read the second sheet. Okay, second sheet name is given as data 2. All right. So if you read the data, all right, so this is the result you will get sheet name. All right, second sheet. But remember, in our second sheet, we have the data on top. All right, so description about the Excel sheet. Okay, so you can see that there are some data on top. All right, so this one is giving us an error here, like all the column names are being defined as n name. All right, even though we have the column name. Okay, so we want to skip these two rows. How can we do it? Let's do it using the skip rows equal to. Right, let's close this one so that you can see easily. All right, let's run it again. Now I have the error. Why? Because I make a mistake here. All right, this one I don't need underscore. So if you put two row to be skipped, and then this is the result you will get. You will start reading from line number 3 instead of line number 1. All right. So line number 3 is a header, so we don't need to assign header as a name. This is the result you will get. Okay. All right. Skip row, header are all the same for read CSV as well. You can use similarly. Okay. All right. So pause this video and do some exercise which I'm give you in this command line. All right, there are some exercise for you to do it. Okay, let's stop for now.